Okay, so where's some of the areas where you can have a lot of fun with this? When we talk about challenging verbs, okay, now if you can challenge nouns, okay, Mark is an addict. Okay, so we've challenged, are we talking about Mark? Are we talking about addict? Okay, Mark is. Okay, get it? Okay, take the time, and shift that. Take the time and shift that. Okay, just mumble. Yes, talk, do yourselves a favor. Just talk a little bit, back and forth. Not real loud, just a little bit. Okay, a little wisp, pss, pss, pss. Okay. Okay, the question came up as far as why do you want to... Let me adjust this. The question came up as far as why do you want to read, little pieces from, like, the newspaper. Or, I have a book here, Dream, Images, and Symbols. Okay, why do I want to read that outside? You want to get all your rep systems involved. Pictures, sounds, and feelings, right? Okay, so if I hold this book, okay, again, notice the emphasis. Dream, images, and symbols. Now, again, I can do all this. You want to do it out loud, because if you just do it in your head, you're going to think about it. Okay, I want you doing things, not thinking about them. Dream, images, and symbols. Dream, images, and symbols. Okay, I can just put that the whole way through. Dream, images, and symbols. Okay, where else can we apply it? Dream, images, and symbols. Okay, notice where the question is. The question is on images. Dream, images, and symbols. Now the question's on and. Got it? Moving the question around, you use a question to open up the command module of the brain. You use a question, not a statement, to open the command module, insert command, and shut down. Got it? If it sounds a little complicated, that's okay. It's very simple. Once you play with it. Don't work at it, play with it. Okay. So you can challenge any portion of a sentence. Okay, notice we'll put that up a little bit. Any portion of a sentence or a statement. Okay, when applying this to sales, I took Ben from, he was always losing sales. I mean, he'd say, oh yeah, this is something that sounds like it's really going to work for you. And I'd say, look, this sounds like something that's really going to work for you. And down. Do you have a question? This could work for you. Open the command module, shut it. Do you have a question? Do you have any questions? Because this can work for you. Well, no, I don't have any questions. Very simple. Open the command module up. Do you have any questions? Because this can work for you. If you don't have questions, do you have any questions? Do you have questions? What questions do you have? What questions do you have? I don't have any questions. Okay, see that? Notice that. These little wee bits, right? It's the little wee bits. It's not necessarily long-winded patterns and long multi-step processes. I mean, the processes are there, but you can make these very elegant. Again, notice the certainty. Let's insert certainty. You can let these become very elegant. Okay, notice where the question is. Do I let it? Do I make it? Play with this. Now, another area where you can really challenge things are the operators, okay? Now, here's what I want you to think about. People say, well, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I like to have. Okay, and again, listen to exactly what people tell you. They'll say, oh, I need this. So, you need this? Today. Oh, yeah, I'd like it today. Okay, that tells you a lot. Okay, Ben comes up to me, John, I need this today. Ben, you need this today? Yeah. Okay. Again, that softens it. Versus if I say, you need this today, there's a fight, get it? Let's put the question in the middle. You need this today? You need this? You see, play with this. This is where you get hung up at. You need this today? You need this today? Again, while their brains are catching all up, well, yeah, I need it, but I mean, if you get around to it. I can't tell you how many times I've had people tell me, they call me on the phone, John, you know what? I need to talk with you today. I need at least half an hour. I'll come back up, okay? So you need to talk with me today. So, well, I really needed to, but, things are shaping up a little bit. I mean, I'd like to talk with you today if you got some time. Okay, notice these little bits. Where can you apply these? How can you apply these in sales? Okay, one of the reasons why very rarely, okay, you'll notice on your handouts, right, you have one sheet of paper with some stuff you do written on it, right? And you have 4 blank sheets. Okay, you have 4 blank sheets of paper. You have blank sheets of paper for you to write on. Because if I put all this, you got to get into it. Kinesthetics, if you're writing out things, you're going to see it once you write it out. The physical act of writing it out activates the kinesthetics. And if you talk, well, read what you wrote. Read what you wrote, not him. Get it? Read what you wrote. Just don't look at it. Okay, notice where the placement of the question is. Changes everything. And again, if this sounds very simple, it is very, very simple. And very, very awesome at the same time. When I started first learning this from the Apache Scout lineage, okay, they were the first ones that started to enlighten me about this just a little bit, okay? One of the things that I noticed was bare bones elegance. Bare bones street lethal elegance is what the whole Apache Scout is about. The scout path is a spiritual path. I'm talking the real scouts here, not the ones you see in the cowboy and Indian movies. It's a spiritual path. It's a path of enlightenment. What you want to be able to do is use these technologies, use these teachings to free your mind. So how do you do that? Okay, the same exact way, because here's what happens. I had a guy, Bobby. Bobby calls me up from California, and Bobby's doing all sorts of affirmations, and he's wondering why it's not working. Well, one of the things that he was doing, Bobby was making his affirmations into questions. Okay, yeah, it sounds a little strange. Okay, but he was making his affirmations into 2 questions that I asked him when we started out with. Notice again I'm playing with the ambiguities a little bit. Being able to play with, if you don't have the ambiguity CDs, the Beyond NLP stuff, I'd really, really suggest that because it's a lot of fun. And it can give you another doorway out. Okay, this type of, modifying the inflection can really help you to get that. So Bobby calls, and Bobby's doing this. Well, I could tell he could make these statements. Well, I'm real certain about this. What is it that you're not certain about? Come on. Are you sure you're certain about this, or are there other things you're not certain about? What's going on? Just get him talking a little bit, because I want to learn where he's putting his emphasis at. Oh, yeah, well, I am certain about this. Okay, well, get him talking a little bit. Now, if he says, I'm certain about this, again, big difference. I am certain about this. Okay, here's a question about the certainty. I'm certain about this. It's a question about what this is. Maybe he's certain about this on some level, but maybe he needs a little bit more clarification as far as what this is. Again, if you're going to go from general to specific with this, if you're going to go from doubt to confusion, if you're going to go from, again, think about the ways that you can use this. You can go from specifics, generals to specifics, okay? Specifically, generally, it's a good idea to work into specifics with this, because this will eliminate a lot of doubt, a lot of vagueness. 2, you can use this to create doubt, okay? Okay, get it? Okay, notice these things. So you can do the doubt, you can create questions, and you can insert commands in the middle of a sentence. And they largely go undetected that way. So when we started first learning about some of this stuff, again, I thought it was all accidental. I was going through thinking, oh man, listen to the way they talk. They talk like they're using English, but, they are using English. They are using English. But, they keep changing the way they inflect on different sentences. They're calibrating me. What they're doing is they're changing the way, they notice what I put the emphasis on, what I put the emphasis on. Get it? And they're also playing with it, noticing, hey, when we change the emphasis, what happens to his physiology? Okay, notice these things. It makes a huge difference. 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 Okay, little things. So for homework, play with the newspaper. Just get 1 or 2 sentences and read. If you read one 8-word sentence and you move the inflection from one word to the next, 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 okay, you can play with that, right? 8 words. You can get probably at least 8 different meanings out of just moving the inflection just one. What if you have 2 inflections? What if you have 8 words and you have an inflection that goes up and an inflection that goes down somewhere in the sentence? And then you reverse them. You have an inflection that goes down and then up in the sentence. Because you can command someone, right, to have a question. Okay? Just play with these things a little bit. Again, you want this to be elegant. Okay, I have a business card here. Someone left this on the table. It says, the Fay West Smart Shopper. Okay, the Fay West Smart Shopper? The Fay West Smart Shopper? Are there more than one? The Fay West Smart Shopper? Is there a dumb way to do it? Okay, P.O. Box 141. P.O. Box 141. Dunbar. Okay, you can just play with these little things, right? When you play with the little things, that's what makes all the difference. Again, you want to add, okay, a couple ways you can do this. One, you can get angry and fight with people. I've seen therapists do that. I've seen them go like, well, I'm the professional, you're the something or another. I've seen all these happen, this is the way it should work. Okay, and I've seen people, John is an excellent example of this. When I was working with him on the phone one day, one of the things I noticed is it's impossible to box the guy in. Whoa. Yeah, it's impossible to box the guy in. You can punch him out, right, but you can't box him in. Okay, notice changing the inflection. Oh yeah, well you can't box me in. I can't box you in. I could probably punch you out though, right? Okay, you can have a little bit of fun with these. They open the door to the ambiguities. They open the door to mental flexibility. Again, the problem with the addict, the problem with the compulsive. And think about this, when you're on sales calls, and let's say you're picking up a chick, and the girl says, hey, I don't date cops. I say, hey, you don't date cops. It doesn't mean you can't go out with one, or you can't get on with one. Come on. I'm just joking around here, but think about it. I actually used that once years ago when I was a policeman. Go to the bar, girl said, dance with a girl. She goes, what are you doing? I say, I'm a policeman. She goes, man, I don't date cops. I said, I'm not asking for a date. Right? Yeah, I want more than that, don't you? Just having a little bit of fun. She goes, I don't date cops. Yeah, you don't date cops. What do you do with them? Okay, that's how you play with these things. Okay, toss a challenge out. Okay, you don't date cops. Yeah, you don't date cops. What do you do? People, what? They just screw them wantonly. They go home and they do what they do. They never see them again. Come on. You think all cops are the same? Whatever. Let's... And you can have fun with this. And that's the whole idea. Where there's too much seriousness, you have a this equals that. My name's Mark and I'm an addict. Okay? That's, boom, a quick statement. Your name is Mark? we go out to eat, and the waitress comes over and said, oh, what is your name? Or what was your name? Okay, I have a little bit of fun with this. Okay, girl comes up, and I say, hi, I'm John, this is Carol. Okay, what is your name? And I say, my name is, and they start looking, oh, and your name is? I mean, that's a nice, polite, normal English, and what is your name? What is your name? Okay, play with the little bits of time predicates. Play with the little bits of the operators, the need tos. Mike, I need this on my desk by Friday. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, yeah, you need this on your desk by Friday. Well, yeah, I need it, if you can get it to me. Okay, that little bit there. All right, man, I know you need it, but I can't get it to you. Boom, that creates arguments. The scout is elegant. That's one of the keys with this. Okay, so if you want to have some fun with this, okay, you gotta have fun with this, because if you make it work, one of the things, I was working with Phil on the phone the other day. He calls me up from toward Philadelphia, and he says, look, I've been working on anchoring, and I've got a problem with it. I said, well, what's your problem, right? He goes, well, I've got a problem with anchoring. So, well, you got a problem with anchoring? What else, So, just having a little bit of fun, tossing a little bit of challenges is his way, noticing what he picks up, what he doesn't, right? And so he says, well, my anchoring comes across as insincere and phony. I said, so your anchoring comes across as insincere and phony. So it's not anchoring itself. Oh, no, it's my anchoring. It's your anchoring, right? So you're anchoring. So, again, I toss it in little bits of different directions. Oh, yeah, that's my anchoring, but generally with NLP, one of the things I've noticed. So I start tossing it around here, just seeing what else is going on in there. Because if he comes to me and says, my anchoring comes across as, I go, well, one of the things that you can do, would you like for me to ask you how to do this? And we can get all serious about this, in which case he'll learn about it and he'll still go back and play with it the same way. What I do is I start getting him playful. So he says, I said, your anchoring, he says, my anchoring comes across as something and insincere. And I said, okay, so your anchoring comes across as something insincere, right? And it's not you. So, no, yeah, come on, I'm just kidding around, just relax. So, tell me more. So he says, well, when I try to do this, okay, when you try to do this, right, you don't try, okay, let's just play with it, okay? These little bits make a huge difference. Whenever you're playing with these skills, you gotta play with them. Play with them when they don't matter. Play with them with again, you're gonna build into your anchors, you're gonna build into these little switches here. Okay, the Indians, as well as Ying, I mean, they were always giggling. I'd say something, I'd say, I'm hungry. I said, you're hungry. I said, yeah, I'm hungry. You hungry? And I said, yeah, I'm hungry too. Okay, that's how it works. This is real life, folks. Okay? This is great in theory, but it's real life. You can hear this all the time. But people do this to wrestle attention. People do this to be right. Don't do this for attention. Don't do this to be right. Do it to add in novelty. Do it to add in fun. And if you do that, no matter what your intended outcome is, you're going to have fun. The girl says, I don't take cops. So what do you do? Just sleep with them or what? I mean, that's good for me, right? And she starts giggling because she knows I'm having fun. I'm joking with her. I'm not saying, well, I could be the first one, baby. I mean, they're used to that crap. So you go out for the sale, and the guy says, you know what, I never buy on the first time. I say, yeah, I never buy on the first time either, right? I mean, I go to the gas station, right? I pull up. I mean, come on, we all buy on the first time. I'm not telling you got to today. Yeah, but come on, let's just relax, have a little bit of fun here, because our rules have become a little bit way too defined. Okay, these are openers. These can open up huge doors. They're little hinges that open up huge doors. As you're playing with making these practical, okay, notice what the objections are. Notice where people get stuck. Notice where people get stuck. Not dogs, not cats. Okay, got it? Play with this stuff. I first thought this was all done accidentally. Then I started realizing they were doing it very deliberately. And you'll notice people do this deliberately all day long to prove that they're right and to get attention. Do this to interject. Do this to bring humor. Do this to bring positivity into any situation. Do this to bring humor in any situation. Okay, again, notice the inflection. You can have fun with this. And people, I've had people say, well, I'm not the kind of guy that does that. I said, well, you're not the kind of guy. I mean, obviously, you go through life being mean to people. Well, no, I'm not mean. I'm actually pretty nice. I said, well, yeah, you are pretty nice. But what? Again, you can have fun with this. That's the key. You want to build the fun into it.